Hi guys, well I went to see Infinity War yesterday twice. It was absolutely an amazing film. I think Marvel have really done themselves this time. I don't know, where do I start? Well, I wasn't going to do spoilers, but everybody's doing spoilers now, so I might as well go into the film. Let me just sort the camera out, guys. Just get it up a bit so I can sit back. It was interesting stuff, the whole thing about it. I mean, the film starts on, the Hulk and Thor get done quickly at the beginning of the movie. It starts right after Thor Ragnarok. And then we start jumping around from scene to scene. The whole film was pretty spectacular. I had to go see it twice just to take it in. You know, there was so much going on, and the film went very quickly. For 2.5 hours, I was very surprised at how fast it goes. But it jumps on to the battle on the ship. I don't know what's happened to Korg and Valkyrie. I hope they're not dead. But Thor, Thanos is there. He's on board. He wants the Tesseract. Loki's there. Loki gets killed in first 10 minutes. Gone, neck broken, done. So, and then Heimdall gets it as well. Spear straight into his chest by Thanos. And then Hulk gets zapped to Earth. Crashes into the Sanctum Sanctorum. And suddenly it jumps to Tony Stark and Pepper. They're planning for the future, and it ends up where Doctor Strange turns up through his dimension, his shimmer, his ring thing, and Tony Stark goes to his mansion. There's some humorous bits in there, but it's still quite a dark film, and it's sort of Thanos is coming, the whole thing, and Tony Stark, he's known this for years, and this is what gets interesting about this film. There's a connection between Stark and Thanos, which because Thanos knows who he is about the knowledge. There's like hints I think they're dropping for Avengers 4, but I'll go into that in a minute. And then the film comes together, this circular thing comes down, the villains, the children of Thanos turn up. They're pretty cool. I loved Ebony Maw, absolutely amazing. Corvus is in it, they're all in it. And generally there's Avengers split up all over the planet because the team's falling in, and then there's battles going in, and it all builds up where Spider-Man turns up and they get on board the ship and it's on its way to Titan. There's a battle on ship. Doctor Strange, because they can't touch the time stone because it's protected by a spell, and Ebony Maw gets sucked out of ship and they end up on Titan, and then the Guardians turn up. Well, they find Thor in space, and then there's two battles going on in two locations, and which is sort of interesting of teams of people. And the kill count is massive in this movie. It really is when you get to the end. But the whole film is about Thanos, and he's not like a one-dimensional baddie. There's so many facets to him. This MCU version of Thanos, and to go through all this, that he's obsessed with this balance in the universe. So he annihilated half his own race because there were overpopulation and stuff going on planet Titan. He offered them a solution, and so I assume he annihilated half his planet, or devastated it. So we'll probably get more on that next film. But Thanos, he does care. There is a conscience of sorts inside him, because his relationship with Gamora is really interesting. I think out of all his other children, she's the one who's his favourite. It doesn't matter, out of all of them, it's her. And you really touch on this relationship with her, because when they go to like nowhere where the Collector is to get the Power Stone, she really lays into him, slashes his throat, but it's all like some illusion done by the Gauntlet. And when they sort of get there, she's crying, because he's like, it doesn't matter how cruel he is or genocidal or insane, I mean, in his mind, he's doing the right thing. He's so driven by what he is, but there is some form of conscience in there, which makes this sort of quite fascinating. And Josh Brolin just played him superb, voiced everything about him. We jump back to Earth with Banner. Hulk won't come out because Thanos did him in a matter of about a minute. He just slaughtered the Hulk completely, and the Hulk won't come out. Every time Banner tries to become Hulk, he won't come out, and that's sort of because he's for the first time ever, I think, the Hulk, he'd had such a beating that psychologically it's affected him. And it was interesting that the Hulk wasn't in this film and it was all about Mark Ruffalo's character, and I think that was a good idea, because I think he should hold Hulk back to the next movie. We saw him alone in 4, so I think they did the right thing here. We get into Scarlet Witch and the Vision. That's interesting, like the comics. A relationship's formed, obviously, and it's it's interesting stuff. I really do think them two characters could pull a movie on their own. I mean, but they turn up, Children of Thanos, and it's a big battle, and then Captain America turns up. Mark Ruffalo, Banner, don't know what's been happening for the last 2 years that the Avengers split up and all this, but you see all the old faces. White Wolf, Bucky, he's now going back. It's time now. Steve Rogers, Scarlet Witch. I mean, they all come together. There's so much going on. Meanwhile, you jump to Titan, and then you go into Thanos to somewhere else, and it's all a plot to get Gamora, because Gamora's the one that knows where the Soul Stone is, and that was quite a shock. I were absolutely sort of blown away by that. And then the whole sort of film is that when they go to, he gets information out of it, and they have to go to a planet, and to get the Soul Stone there's a sacrifice to be made, and it's all like Gamora. I mean Thanos got a tear down his eye, and he pushes her off and off the cliff, and the Red Skull's there. He's like some kind of guardian now. Like, he's denied the stones, like, and he's floating there. But so something's happened to Red Skull. I couldn't believe it. Bloody Red Skull. I knew he'd been transported to another planet. So he's stuck on like a Vormir or somewhere, you know. And that was it. And so that's interesting. Is he going to make a comeback, you know, later on further down the line? And a lot of things. I mean, and then like the events are going on in the film. And then eventually we get back to Earth. You know, well, there's the battle on Titan. I mean, the battle on Titan between Star-Lord, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Nebula, and the others is incredible. They almost get the gauntlet off him, like in the graphic novel. They're just about to pull the Spider-Man, just nearly pulls it off him. But then, because Mantis is like controlling his mind, and she just wakes up and he twats the lot of them. I mean, this guy's a kill machine. So, and then you just jump in, then you're back to Earth, and big final battle, Captain America and all that. I mean, I did have a few issues with the battle at Wakanda. I thought there'd have been more advanced weapons and technology. They were all using spears. I know they fired lasers or whatever, but I don't know. I expect to see a lot more high-tech military grade weaponry. But I think a lot of people said something about that. But, I mean, all in all, the Battle of Wakanda was superb. You know, I just thought we'd have seen more Wakandan technology, you know, more powerful weapons. I thought Black Panther was superb in it. All the Marvel characters were exemplary. Everybody got a feel in this movie. Like, even, you know, the characters, everybody had a part. But for me, the best characters were definitely Thor and Rocket. Worked wonderfully when they went to that neutron star where the Forge, run by dwarves, where they created Mjolnir, the hammer, and he got Stormbreaker. I mean, you know, Groot. I loved Groot. I just loved all that. I felt that the Guardians, like Chris Pratt and that, they were there, but they weren't as intense as what Rocket was, I think, and Groot and Thor. I thought them three really had the focus for me. Because Thor's just had the shit knocked out of him. I mean, he's got one eye and had lost Asgard. I mean, the poor guy has been through it all. And there's some great moments between him and Star-Lord when they first meet. You know, Drax just as thick as ever, and you love his lines. the film just moves. I mean, for 2.5 hours and all these characters, this whole film is just so compact, and it just moves at this speed. And when you finally got to end, I was so into it, and how it finished, where Thanos just sits watching the sunset come down after what he's done. Because when there's the fan, when he's after Vision, and all the heroes are trying to stop him from getting to Vision, and he's just doing every one of them. Then there's Captain America doing the big thing. He slaughters a lot of them. Well, he don't kill them all, just gets them all out of the way, and he gets the Vision, just takes it out of his head, and he puts that final thing on, and he becomes omnipotent. And you can tell he's enjoying that moment of power. And Thor just comes flying in, you know, with Stormbreaker straight into his chest, and he said to him, why didn't you chop my fucking head off? And he just snaps his fingers, and he just vanishes, does Thanos, straight through, uses gauntlet and just vanishes. You know, Thor's like, and I mean, they really try. I mean, they nearly brought him down. They were that close. And he's just sat on the sunset. But there is an interesting bit, because when he gets to, there's a scene when he gets to Soul Stone, where he's in Soul World, and there's a little girl there now. So I thought, could that have been the entity Death? But I don't think it was. But he was in Soul World, and like there's a little Gamora there. But is that her? It could have been an entity. I mean, I don't know. But he said, have you done it? And he said, I've paid the ultimate price for this. And, you know, I mean, there's going to be many years of debate of Thanos in this film. So I've followed his character. I know he's a nihilist, and he worships death, but this perspective they put on him is really interesting stuff. You know, it's just such a moment. I mean, seeing a tear go down his eye, it was just pretty incredible. I mean, the film roll on number 4, but the interesting thing is, I think the answer to number 4 lies in when Doctor Strange says, when he gives him the time stone, when he stabs Stark, and his Iron Man arm's all knackered and that, and you know, he gives him stone, and he says, this is the end game. You know, out of 14 million alternative timelines, they only win in one. And Doctor Strange has seen something to make them win. He's seen a little crack in something. So that's going to open up, because apparently number 4, there is some time travel in it or something. Well, so it says everybody's been saying, and there's been pictures released. So I don't know, but there's something there in that. So when everybody, like, at the end of the movie starts vanishing, becoming like just dust. I mean, poor Spider-Man, it nearly brought a tear to your eye. Very reminiscent of Doctor Who, when he said, I don't want to go. And he just vanishes. It's half the universe just gone like that. And how they did it, it was just beautiful. It's because I remember reading the comic years, the graphic novel, years ago when I bought all the comics, to Infinity Gauntlet, which is my favourite comic story out of all the Marvel stuff. When half the universe just vanished, and it begins. And the classic iconic thing, I had a t-shirt where he just snaps his finger. One snap of it and it does that. He just ends up sitting on a planet somewhere. I think it's Gamora's home. Well, start looking at the sun, smiling, thinking I've finally brought balance to the universe. I mean, the question is, I mean, of course, obviously, he's completely insane, is Thanos, but is he? I mean, you know, he's in his mind, he's doing the right thing. I mean, where does he go after this with the gauntlet? I mean, he achieved everything, and he's now like omnipotent and the most powerful universal cosmic entity out there in the MCU. And where does he go from here? I mean, he just seems to not bother. I've done what I've set out to do all these years of what we're going to do. He's now set out. So that's how it finished. And it just finished quietly. It just went like that. And I thought, my God, it's finished. It's finished, isn't there anymore? Because you could have sat there for another 2 hours with all this going on. But it's such a sad thing, all the new era, the new intake of the MCU, all just vanished. And it were left with Banner, Stark, Nebula, Hulk, I said Banner, Scarlet Witch, Captain America, and some Wakandans. I mean, that's all that were left. So, I mean, the film is an enjoyable ride. I recommend you go see it twice. Now, there have been some negative sort of things. I think some people felt they were a bit disappointed. They weren't getting what they wanted. Now, I thought it'd be more sort of like, I knew they were going to put the Thanos quest in this, the graphic novel, some of that mixed in with the Infinity Gauntlet, which they did. There were certain scenes which were reminiscent of them, which were interesting. But the film itself is just one heck of a ride. For me, it is the best Marvel film I've seen. I think after 18 movies, this is only part one as well, that it wound up a lot of things in there as well, little storylines from all the other movies. Some things were sort of ended, and then because I think we're moving into phase 4 now, so we're moving into new Marvel territory. But so the next film is obviously, when you get to the pre-credits, you get the old Nick Fury hill, so he must be running SHIELD again. Something's happened, and they're all vanishing and all that, and he just pulls out a pager from 90s, presses the link, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and that obviously is going to go into this year when she comes out. But she's the focus point of the next movie, and this is going to be her way into the MCU after her film, and then Infinity War Part 2. I mean, there's so much. I mean, I've only done 15 minutes here, guys, but there's so much in this film that to go through in minute detail, and I think I'd have to probably go see it a third time just to get more of the thing. But every time I saw it twice, the film went very quick, and I love that. That's a sign of a top movie. So I mean, people might not agree with what I'm saying about Infinity War. You might not agree, but I really enjoyed it. For me, I thought it was spectacular, and I think it was a great sort of movie for 10 years of the MCU. I mean, they've created an amazing universe. I mean, it's now gone cosmic. I love the Guardians. Like I said, I thought the characters that had for me the highlight were Thor. I really thought he shone above everybody else. He really did. And Stark were brilliant. And it was interesting because Thanos said they knew each other. He said, I've got knowledge of you. He said, it's the curse being born with knowledge, isn't it? I think these are things that are going to roll into the next movie. These are like, they were dropping key sort of elements for Thor. Now, what worries me is after this, where do you go with this? I mean, you know, after this, can Marvel top this movie with the second one? Because normally today we always get the great part 1 and the shit part 2, you know. So I think they'll do it, they'll pull it off, but there won't be as many zeros in the next one. But everybody in this film got their moment. Which was awesome. I like Captain America when he saw Ross, Secretary of Defence, said, look, if you get in our way, we'll fight you as well. You need us because the shit's coming. And it was. The Battle of Wakanda was super. Like I said, I thought there'd been more military power. It would have been good if like SHIELD would have turned up with troops and backed it all up, you know, more of a global thing. But apart from that, brilliant movie. I really can't find a fault with it. Maybe when I watch it on Blu-ray when it comes out, I might see it differently. I might go see it again next week a third time, you know. So that's my review of Avengers Infinity War. If I've missed anything out, guys, there was so much in there. I'm not in a foray, I'm just going on how I felt about the film. I loved it. So please give this video a like, please subscribe, let me know what you think, guys, and I'll speak to you soon. And MCU, just superb role on Ant-Man and Wasp, can't wait, bring it on. Alright guys, speak soon.